Square root of 4 squared minus 4 times negative 4 times 7. I see a square root, so that takes precedence. I have to work under the square root first, but it's all I have too. And then I'm looking at the squared. That's going to have to come first. And then the multiply right there, and the multiply right there, and finally, the subtraction. Okay, so I'm going to resist subtracting until I've got all those things multiplied and squared. So 4 squared, I can do that pretty quickly, right? 4 times 4, so I get 16, and then I want to rewrite it as plus negative 4 times negative 4 times 7, and I have square root of 16 plus, and then I need to multiply, so I have negative 4 times negative 4 times positive 7. Negative 4 times negative 4 gives me positive 16, and times 7, that one I don't know in my head, but my calculator tells me it's 112. So I have plus 112. And check my sign, so I had negative times negative is positive times positive. It should have come positive for my result. So then I can add those two together. 16 and 112, 128. And then the last thing I need to do is see if I can simplify that radical at all. So I have the square root of 128, and I know it's divisible by 2, so when I divide by 2 I get 64, and then that's nice because I know that's 8 times 8, and 8 is 4 times 2, and that's 2 times 2. So when I get all of those numbers factored down to the very bottom, then I can start looking for pairs. I want 2 numbers together because that will give me a perfect square, and that's going to be a 2 squared, and here's a 2 squared, and here's a 2 squared, and 1 2 left all by itself that doesn't have a square. When I rewrite that, I'm going to go off to the left here a little bit. I'll have the square root of 2 squared times 2 squared times 2 squared. I had 3 of them. There's 1, 2, 3. And then one that's just a lonely 2 with no squared. Okay, so then I can separate them. Square root of 2 squared times square root of another 2 squared times the square root of another 2 squared times the square root of 2. Now I know those square root of 2 squareds are just the square root of 4 or a 2 for each one of them. So I have 2 times 2 times 2 times the square root of 2. 2 times 2 times 2 is 2 times 2 is 4 times another 2, that's 8. So that's 8 square root of 2. So that's all instead of the square root of 128. 8 square root of 2. Now you might have noticed, and it's okay if you stopped right here, but you might have noticed perfect square right there. And if you did that 8 squared, you would have come out 8 square root of 2 as well. It's wherever you notice it, but a lot of times it's better for students to factor it all the way down so they don't miss seeing a perfect square. Okay, so when we simplify this one, remember we got 8 times the square root of 2. Here I have 8 times the square root of 2, so I want to do 2, take the square root, and then multiply by 8. My decimal approximation will be 11.313, but the following digit's a 7, so I'll have to bump that 3 up to a 4. So 11.314. So it's approximately 11.314.